The earth went cold, and nothing grew for the first time in history. Not drought, not winter, not any natural cycle. The grain refused to come up. The trees stripped themselves bare. Animals starved. Humans starved. The world was dying, and it was dying because one goddess had stopped caring whether it lived. Her name was Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, the reason anything grew at all. And the reason she had stopped caring was that her daughter had disappeared into the earth, and no one in heaven or on the ground would tell her where. Persephone was the daughter of Demeter and Zeus, born of the harvest goddess and the king of the gods, raised in a world of endless spring, perpetually young, gathering flowers in the meadows of Sicily while her mother tended the growth of the entire earth. She was not a minor goddess. She was not simply a girl who got taken. In the oldest layers of Greek religion, before the myth was written down, Persephone was already worshipped as a queen of enormous power, the sovereign of the underworld, the goddess who stood between the living and the dead, the one every soul had to pass through to reach whatever came after life. The myth of her abduction is, in some ways, a story added later to explain a goddess who was already there, already ruling, already present in the deep places of the world. But the story as it came down is this. Persephone was in the meadow. She saw a Narcissus flower of extraordinary beauty. In some versions, the flower was created specifically by Gaia, the earth herself, as a lure, which raises its own questions about who actually planned what happened next. She reached for it. The ground opened. Hades, the god of the underworld, came up from below in his chariot and took her down with him. She screamed. Her voice echoed across the earth and the sea, reaching no one who would act on it immediately. Demeter heard the cry and began searching across the entire world for 9 days and 9 nights, carrying torches, asking every being she encountered if they had seen her daughter. The sun finally told her the truth. Hades had taken Persephone. Zeus had permitted it. Demeter's grief became something larger than grief. It became a refusal to function. She left Olympus. She wandered the earth disguised as an old woman. And while she wandered, nothing grew. The harvest stopped. The earth entered a famine so total that the gods began to worry not about Demeter's pain, but about the disappearance of the sacrifices humans would no longer be able to offer once they were all dead. Zeus sent Hermes to the underworld to bring Persephone back. Persephone was in the underworld. The ancient texts differ on whether she was there entirely against her will in those months. Some sources describe her weeping and refusing food. Others describe her as queen, already seated beside Hades, already presiding over the realm of the dead with the particular authority of someone who has found their place. Before she left with Hermes, she ate 6 pomegranate seeds. Some versions say 4, some say 3. The number varies, but the act does not. She consumed something from the underworld, and the rule of the underworld is absolute and older than any god. What has eaten in the realm of the dead belongs to the realm of the dead. Hades had given her the seeds, or she had taken them herself, or she had been tricked. The sources disagree on this too, deliberately, perhaps, as if the tradition itself understood that the question of whether she ate knowingly was more important than any single answer to it. Zeus ruled that Persephone could return to her mother. The underworld ruled that she could not fully leave. The compromise reached was this. For the months she had eaten seeds, she would remain in the underworld. For the remaining months, she would return to the world above. Demeter accepted this, but the seasons changed with it. When Persephone ascends, Demeter's joy makes everything grow. Spring becomes summer. The harvest comes. When Persephone descends again to take her throne in the underworld, Demeter's grief strips the earth bare. Autumn becomes winter. The world waits. This is the Greek explanation for every winter that has ever existed. Not a natural cycle, not physics. A mother's grief, returning on schedule, faithful as a tide, because the world was too small to hold the fullness of what a goddess feels when her daughter is gone. But the story does not say Persephone went reluctantly forever. The story says she became queen, that she ruled the realm of the dead with total authority, that the souls of the departed addressed her with the same reverence they gave Hades, that she was not the girl who was taken into the dark. She was the goddess who governed it. Every winter is a mother's grief. Every spring is a daughter's return. The oldest mythologies have a way of saying in story what cannot be said directly, that loss and return are the same cycle, that what descends must eventually rise, and that the power to govern the deep dark places is not given by abduction. It was already there. Tomorrow, this channel brings the oldest written story in human history, Gilgamesh, the king who lost his only equal and walked to the edge of the world looking for something no one has ever found. Come back, a new myth every single day.